What is good? Let's see here. Trying to fix this. Hopefully, you guys can hear me and see me. What's good? What's good? A couple of you guys already in the comments, I see. But just wanted to hop on and really just answer some questions. I know, obviously, we've got football tomorrow. We got the Lakers game later tonight. And so there was obviously a lot to talk about. So just wanted to hop on here and talk to you guys and really just answer some questions. But yeah, what's going on? What's going on? Yes. So submit your questions, start and sit. I'll answer those. I'll answer NBA, NFL, Bears, Bulls, whatever it is. I'll try to get to as many as I can. If you want your question answered right away, submit a super chat. Douglas is asking, we talking Bears or Bulls? Either or, we could talk whatever. I'm fine with that. But yeah, super chat if you want your question answered right away. But I will start just by saying that I've got a ton of content out for you guys to check out. So hopefully you guys have checked out all my recent videos. But also there's a lot of things that I'm working on behind the scenes to upgrade the viewing experience for you guys. All right. So I'm trying to fix everything up and rest assured there's going to be a lot more things coming. So just wanted to put that out there. But the other thing is you guys have shown so much support. So thank you and continue doing so, please, because I'm trying to grow the channel. And the growth over the last month has been crazy, right? With football season, it's been nuts. So with that being said, just wanted to get that out of the way. And I'll go ahead and start with the question. So we're going to go ahead and start at the top here. And we'll go there. Fantasy football, who to start? Wide receivers. I mean, you didn't give me any wide receivers, so provide those, and I'll tell you who to start. Will the Bulls get AD or Joakim Noah back? The Bulls, I believe, will entertain bringing back Joakim Noah. Obviously, you're asking this because of the Billy Donovan hire, which I posted my thoughts on, so you guys can go check that out. But Joakim Noah reached out to Billy Donovan and kind of congratulated him on, taking the Bulls job, because we all know Billy Donovan was Joakim Noah's coach, if you guys remember that, in college. And so could he be our Udonis Haslem, if you will, right, for the Bulls as Haslem is for the Heat, which is like basically not even a player, but like a player coach? Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. So I think that's more likely than 80. I don't think the Bulls are getting 80. I think 80 is going to re-sign with the Lakers. So I'm not even thinking about that one. We already have a super chat, so thank you so much, D-Bow, the Black Panther. Thank you. Shout out, man. Appreciate the support. His question, how long before our new coach has the Bulls back at high contention, not just playoffs, but a serious threat? Great question. So if you're wondering when the Bulls are going to be contenders, not just a playoff team, but contenders, my answer to that would probably be in about 2 years. Now, 2 years meaning this season and this next season after that. And the reason I say that is because the Bulls already, I feel, are a playoff team. Technically, to me, the Bulls are already a playoff team, borderline playoff team. In the Eastern Conference, you can make the playoffs and not be, absolutely loaded. So the Bulls are already a playoff team. The next step is to get to a mid-level playoff team. And then as, D-Bow mentioned, to get to contender status. So this next step this season, it's going to be about getting to a mid-round playoff team. And then after that, you go ahead and jump to a contender status. So I'm going to say 2 years. And also, I'm working on a video right now, guys, where I'm going to actually detail out. I'm putting it on the whiteboard and everything. I'm going to detail out the entire plan on how I believe the Bulls can get back into contention, just like how the Nuggets did. So I'm using the Nuggets blueprint and applying it to the Bulls, and I'm going to literally draw out the plan for you guys. So that's a video I'm working on. I'll post it in a couple of days when I finish it up, but hopefully that answers your question. I appreciate the super chat. Submit more if you want your question answered right away. Right away, let's get back to the question. So I mentioned I don't think the Bulls are getting 80. Why would the Bears sign Snacks over A-Rob? The Allen Robinson situation, his contract extension, has absolutely nothing to do with the Bears potentially signing Snacks Harrison. Allen Robinson and the Bears have already talked about the money, and they are negotiating. the money that they would have to pay Snacks Harrison is going to be a separate amount. And so again, here's what I need you guys to realize. The NFL salary cap is very flexible. Very flexible. So much so that you take a look at a team like the Rams, and it looks like the Rams have been spending for years and years, right? And they just re-signed Robert Woods to a big deal. They continually find a way to sign everybody, and you're wondering, do they just have like salary cap off in their settings? Are they playing Madden while the rest of us are playing real life football with the natural salary cap? The answer is obviously no, and that's because there's a lot of loopholes. So when we're talking about this money here, generally speaking, yeah, you would think, oh, if you're paying one guy, you can't pay the other. But the NFL salary cap is so flexible, guys. It's not like the NBA at all. It's so much more complicated, and you can move money around. You can turn things into signing bonuses and backload deals, front load deals. So they're two separate deals, to answer your question. Do you think the Bears will make the playoffs? Yes, I have the Bears making the playoffs this year. I've predicted that. Do you think that Jalen Johnson is a D-Roy candidate, defensive rookie of the year candidate? Absolutely. He has been phenomenal. Lights out through 2 games. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Jalen Johnson. I told you guys when he got drafted, I liked the draft pick. And I believe if he keeps his play up, there's no reason why he can't be. What do you think about A.J. Terrell getting injured? Well, he didn't get injured. So if you guys haven't heard, A.J. Terrell, the rookie cornerback for the Atlanta Falcons, he was their 16th overall pick this season. He is out because he failed the COVID test. He tested positive for COVID, and he went on the COVID injured reserve list. And how do I feel about it? Obviously, for the Bears, it's good because, again, we don't have to play a good cornerback in A.J. Terrell, who's a decent cornerback, and so that hurts the Falcons secondary. But I also feel bad for the NFL because this is the first player that has missed a game because of COVID, and obviously that's not good. So I don't want any players missing because of COVID, but let's see how the NFL handles this and moves forward. But as far as the Bears, it benefits them. I feel good, but on the NFL level, I'm not too thrilled with that. Let's see here. Bears defense will dominate the Falcons. I hope so. Are you sold on Trubisky, or do you think Foles is the answer for the season? You guys should know this answer by now if you follow me. Yes, I am. I am not turning away from Mitchell Trubisky. I think Nick Foles is not the answer for the Bears, and I don't know why people would ask that right now when the Bears are 2-0. Makes no sense. Do you think the Bears will score 30-plus points tomorrow? Yeah, a lot of people have asked me this. While I'm making, my parlays and bets for the Bears game tomorrow. By the way, take the Bears plus 3.5. Is it plus 3.5 or 3? I think it's 3. But I have the Bears winning outright tomorrow. So for those of you, obviously, that do bet, I would take the Bears to cover plus 3. Are they going to score 30 points? That was a question. Excuse me. I believe so. You just look at the fact that now A.J. Terrell's out. The defense is awful. Swiss cheese secondary, holes everywhere. The Bears should be able to do whatever they want. I'm not going to be able to tell you if it's going to be through the air or through the run game. I would expect it to be through the air because the Falcons secondary is worse than their front 4 and their front line on the defense, and they've been better at stopping the run. But I do believe they will score 30-plus points tomorrow. It could just be 30, but yes. Let's see here. Thoughts on Kyle Fuller? I mean, he's a stud. Do you think Matt Nagy will let Monty run the ball 25 to 30 times this week? If the game flow dictates it. So if they are the Bears are able to establish the run, then he's going to keep feeding Monty. But like I said, the Falcons have been better at stopping the run than the pass. So if they're able to contain Monty or not have him get as much success, then I believe they will. Then he won't let Monty carry the ball that many times. So it's going to be very game flow dependent. Let's see here. Do you have a preference for the Bulls pick yet? No idea yet, folks. I'm not there yet. As soon as the NBA Finals are over, I'm going to be going full force into who the Bulls are going to draft and who do I want them to draft. So I'm not comfortable telling you guys yet. But rest assured, once the NBA Finals are over, I will be researching that and making a video on that. In the next 2 years, who will be the best viable free agent for the Bulls? In the next 2 years, so not after this season, the season after, it'll be Giannis Antetokounmpo. Or is that one season after? I have to double check. Who should the Bulls draft again? I'm not there yet. I'm still waiting to see. You tripping if you think the Buccaneers are Super Bowl contenders fast. Folks, it's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks, and the Bucs played the Saints in week 1. I still believe the Bucs are very good, and they will be very good, but it's been 2 weeks. You can't overreact them. They're 1-1, okay? Yeah, I do believe the Bucs are contenders. Is Matt playing tomorrow? Yeah, I believe Khalil Mack's going to play. He was limited on the latest injury report, but he's been doing that, I believe, pretty much the first 2 games, and so I think they will. He will. How long have you been a Bears fan? Pretty much all my life. So, yeah, I've been a Bear. This is the only team I've ever been a fan of in terms of that. I am a fan of a lot of players, but the only team I rep is the Bears for football. Does Coach Nagy really trust number 10 to run the offense? And if yes, should we be looking to maybe give someone a shot at play calling? Because in my opinion, Nagy's play calling is questionable. So if you have been following my channel since last season, I called out Matt Nagy a lot for his play calling. In 2019, I thought it was very poor. But Matt Nagy, I believe, is a good play caller. Sometimes he gets a little too cute. I've told you guys this before. But overall, he's a very solid play caller. So no, I don't believe we should be looking at someone else. Matt Nagy's the guy for that. I think we could potentially start 4-0, and I think we could beat Tampa Bay too. But if they beat us in a close game on Thursday Night Football, should we remain optimistic? I'm afraid to get my hopes up too soon. Folks, I don't want to bring this up, but I'm glad you did. The Bears' schedule is very – I'm not going to say very – it's fairly easy. All right, we play the Falcons this week, who I said are very beatable. Then I believe next week we play the Colts. And then like Dylan said, we play the Bucs on Thursday Night Football in week 5. That's our first tough team. But if we beat that, we don't have another tough game until the Saints. And the Saints didn't even look that good against the Raiders. So I'm telling you, this Bears schedule, it's not as daunting as people think. Do you think the 49ers beat the Giants? I'm not sure on them beating them, but I will definitely take the Giants to cover the spread, which I believe was 4. I think it dropped to 3.5. So I'll take the Giants plus 3.5. Do you think Danny Trevathan is going to get transitioned to the bench? Yeah, he has not been good. He's not been good. I don't think they'll do it yet, but if he keeps playing this bad, then yeah, they might. Why are you drinking the Trubisky juice? It's not the Trubisky juice, man. Geez. Guys, any more any questions you want to answer right away, Super Chat is the way to go. Malcolm Brown or Traquan Smith flex full PPR? Well, I know that Cam Akers is out. If Malcolm Brown is fully healthy and ready to go, I'd probably lean him. But Michael Thomas is out. And so Traquan Smith, we saw last week explode. And so this one's tough. Like I said, if Malcolm Brown is healthy and good to go, he'll be the starting running back, and I'll probably lean him. But if he is not 100%, I go Traquan Smith. If we do get to the playoffs, how long and how much do you think they will give Mitch? 3-year contract, $45 million. You know what's funny about that question? Thank you for asking that question. A lot of people don't even want to address this because, again, people hate Mitch Trubisky so much. But they're like, oh, there's no way the Bears extend him at all. I'm like, so you're telling me if we go on a playoff run and Mitchell Trubisky has a good season, the Bears don't extend him? Again, people can have their own opinions. Most likely what I believe happens if Mitch Trubisky has a good season and the Bears make the playoffs, is I believe they franchise tag him. And I believe they franchise tag him because they want him to do it again. They're going to want him to show it again. And then if he does, then I think they extend him to a long-term contract. So, again, not saying they can't, but more likely I believe they will franchise tag him if he plays well this year. If he continues to play well, I should say. I traded Chris Carson and Kareem Hunt for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm assuming that's what you're saying. And Tom Brady in 12-man PPR. I got Dalvin Cook and Drake back. What do you think? 3-headed monster. That was a very, very loaded question. I'm not sure I fully understood. But, yeah, I think your team looks loaded, to be honest. Do you think Denver Nuggets could pull off another miracle comeback down 3-1? I don't believe so. I think it ends here for the Denver Nuggets. Now, whether or not they win this series in 5 games, or excuse me, the Lakers win the series in 5 games or 6 games, that's TBD, but it is ending here. I've got the Lakers going to the finals, and I have the Lakers winning the championship. That was my pick before the playoffs started, And I am sticking by that. So love the Denver Nuggets, love their story, but the train stops here. Do you think the Celtics can bounce back and beat the Heat? Yes. Thank you for bringing that up. I guaranteed you guys yesterday that the Celtics were going to win. I hope you took that and you won your free money, okay? Because I tweeted about that. By the way, follow me on Twitter. I said the Celtics are winning. And 100% I believe the Celtics can bounce back and beat the Heat. I believe the Celtics can win this series, folks. It's 3-2 right now, and I'll tell you this much. Every time the Celtics win, they beat the Heat pretty bad, like by 10, 12 points. Every time the Heat win, it's a nail-biter, very close game. Or you need Tyler Hero to score 37 points, second most points of all time as a rookie. Like, these are the weird things the Heat need to win. So to me, the Celtics are the better team. I honestly think the Celtics are the better team. They just have had some bad luck, and they haven't been able to close. And so 100%, Celtics can come back and win this series. I've actually got some money on that. Celtics coming back and winning this series. They're the better team. What's the deal with Allen Robinson? Sit or play? Will he finally have a good game? Yeah, Jetty, I know you've been asking me about this. Listen, I'm going to do it. This is the week. I'm predicting Allen Robinson has a monster game. I believe Allen Robinson tomorrow will have at least 6 to 7 catches, over 100 yards and a touchdown. There's no reason he shouldn't. This secondary is trash. So, yes, please, whatever you do, do not sit Allen Robinson. Start him. He's going to have a good game. Will the refs finally call holding on Khalil Mack this year, or will he get put in chokehold all game? Look, your guess is as good as mine on this one. Khalil Mack, he gets to ref like he's Shaq. In a way, he kind of is because of how dominant he is. But, like, literally, guys have to almost murder him to get a call for Khalil Mack. It's crazy. So, to me, yeah, I hope they turn it around, but who knows. My birthday tomorrow. Yo, happy birthday. Shout out to you, man. Hopefully you have a good birthday and we get a Bears victory on your birthday. Will the Bears-Falcons game be canceled? I know some people have thought about this because of, obviously, AJ Terrell failing the COVID test. I don't believe so. I think the NFL is going to do everything they can in their power to make sure this game happens. Do you live in the city? If you do, what neighborhood? I do not live in the city. I used to, a long time ago. I live in the burbs right now, the suburbs, northwest suburbs of Chicago. Rams are pretty good. They are pretty good. I'm pretty sure Gale Sayers passing. Joe Mixon for Michael Thomas straight up. So are you trading away Michael Thomas or are you getting Michael Thomas? I'm telling you right now, if I'm a Michael Thomas owner, I am doing that trade. I am doing that trade if I'm a Michael Thomas owner. He's got a high ankle sprain, folks. That thing does not heal quickly. So to me, I would very much entertain trading away MT if you get somebody good. So to me, again, depending on how that injury is, and he could get injured again. Let's see here. I hear you talk about the Bulls and Bears, but do you watch the Hawks, Cubs, or Sox? Yeah, a lot of people ask me about this. Look, I do support all the other teams, the Blackhawks, Cubs, and Sox. I do watch them for sure. But my bread and butter is Bears and Bulls. That, like, I'm most passionate about those two teams. And here's the thing. I'm a guy where if I'm not 100% in, 100% passionate about something, I don't like to entertain that. And so to me, yes, these are all Chicago teams. I love them. I want to rep them. But to me, the teams that I'm most passionate about are the Bulls and the Bears. And those are the teams that give me the most happiness and the ones that I'm most passionate about. So that's why I talk about those teams. I still love the other teams. But, again, I'm a guy who does everything he does based off of what I'm passionate about. And this is what I do. So for me, it's the Bulls and the Bears. And that's the reason why. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm telling you it's just better when it comes from your heart because you're passionate about it. Faiz, what's with all the holding on Mac? Why are the refs cheating Mac? Look, man, are you telling me? I hope the Bears submitted some type of tape to the refs to let them know that this is unacceptable, what they're doing on Khalil Mack. Let's see here. Do you think the Bears will pound the rock tomorrow? Like I said, I think they'll try to establish the run, and if it's working, they'll continue with it. If not, then they'll go ahead and air it out. Celtics are not winning the series. They needed the refs to beat the Heat by 13. Look, man, we're just going to have to agree to disagree. I picked the Celtics before the series to win the series, so maybe I'm just, kind of wanting them to win. But I truly believe the Celtics are the better team. And what's funny? I was thinking about this yesterday is if a team loses a series, can they ever be considered the better team? It sounds dumb, but think about it like this, right? The Clippers lost to the Nuggets. Who would you say is a better team? Well, people would say the Nuggets, right, because they won the series. But honestly speaking, who is the better team? Because in a way, could I just say the Nuggets were a bad matchup for the Clippers? Could I say that? Could I say, if you guys remember, if you guys watched the NBA way back, this was like in 2007, the Mavericks were a number 1 seed. And the 8th seed was the Golden State Warriors. This was the Baron Davis, Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson-led Warriors. Remember that. And the Mavs could not beat this team in the regular season. Everybody knew it was a bad matchup. The Mavs were the number 1 seed. Dirk Nowitzki won MVP that year. Okay? They get to the playoffs. 1 versus 8. They play the Golden State Warriors, and they lose because this was a bad matchup. Now, I ask you, which team is the better team? The Mavs or the Warriors? And I think the Mavs are the better team, but they just had a bad matchup against the Warriors. The Warriors lost in the second round. It's not like they ended up winning the title. So, in a way, what I'm trying to say is just because a team loses in a series doesn't mean they were the worst team overall, because maybe they can beat the other 29 teams. They just can't beat that team. And maybe that team can just beat that team, but not the other 29 teams. I'm saying it's a little bit more complicated than that. But again, maybe people don't care. And listen, you just got to do it to shut people up. And again, fine. Boston is down 3-2. They haven't performed as well as I want them to, but I truly believe they're the better team. So that's what I'm saying. We have a super chat. I see the super chat, so let me go ahead and pull that up. Jetty Cole with the super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you. Hopefully he won't disappoint like Minshew. Yeah, Gardner Minshew was awful. Yeah, talk about Minshew Mania flopping. And that was awful against the Dolphins. Like, I'm sorry, Gardner Minshew just let you guys all down. Levante, thank you, man, with the super chat. Do you think it's possible the Bulls can open up 3 max spots for 2021 free agency? And who would you like to see come to the Bulls? So, Levante, I have a video on this that I'm probably going to post next week. So I don't want to give too much away, but I want to answer your question. Is it possible for the Bulls to open up 3 max spots? I'm going to say it's going to be highly unlikely. Otto Porter Jr. is going to come off the books, which is huge after next season. So you're talking about 2021. And then the other big salaries we had, I know Felicio's like $8 million. Good Lord. Thaddeus Young, I think he's on the docket for 2 more years. So we'd have to trade some players. So that's what I'm saying. I think it's unlikely for 3. Certainly I can see it for 2. And who would I like to see the Bulls go after? I mean, obviously Giannis is the easy answer, right? That's the simple answer. But for me, it's got to be a veteran, right? It's got to be a veteran. Now, I wouldn't mind if it's a young player, but to me, in 2021, I think what's going to happen is the Bulls are going to know if they have some superstars or not. This year is going to be all about Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, Kobe White, and maybe Wendell Carter Jr. Who is going to be that star, or even our 4th overall pick, by the way? Who is going to be that star? Because you need a star to win this league. You not only need a star, you need a superstar. And so when you compare the Bulls to the Nuggets, and I like comparing them to the Nuggets because obviously we know Arturas, AK, or front office VP has come from the Nuggets. When you compare to the Nuggets, who do they really have besides Murray and Jokic? They've got Michael Porter Jr., who's showing some potential, but he's not a star yet. And outside of that, it's a lot of role players, depth pieces. You got your Jeremiah Grant, your Paul Millsaps, your Gary Harris's, nothing else. So really the Bulls just need to hit on at least one of these 4, or 5 actually. We've got 5 players that have potential in Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, Wendell Carter Jr., Kobe White, and our 4th overall pick. One of those 5 needs to become a superstar. Okay? And if not a superstar, at least a star. So out of those 5, at least one superstar, maybe another star. And then after that, what you can do is bring in that veteran to help you win, because I'll tell you this much, and this has been the case for as long as I've been watching the NBA, young players don't win squat in this league. They don't win anything. You need veterans to win championships, and that's why I believe the Bulls should go after that. And as far as specific players, again, I'll get into that in the video, but hopefully that answers your question, Levante. Appreciate the super chat. Any more super chats, folks, I'll go ahead and answer those right away. But let me go back and scroll up to the questions. I'll be on for about a couple more minutes, probably 5 more. Here as we answer, if you had to trade Laurie or Wendell Carter Jr., which player and why? I would trade, personally, Wendell Carter Jr. Wendell Carter Jr. is an undersized center, hasn't really performed as well. The thing with Laurie is a lot of people are down on him because he regressed last year, right? Got it, But I've seen Laurie's peak. Like, not peak, but I've seen Laurie showcase a peak, which is in his second year, Lauri Markkanen put up 19 points and 9 rebounds. That shows me he can be a dominant player in this league. I'm talking 25-12. Wendell Carter Jr. to me, all he's showing me at this point is he can be a center who puts up 12 points, 10 rebounds. That's not superstar to me. That's not star to me, actually. I ain't talking about superstar. But I've seen more potential from Laurie, and I think Laurie's got a better skill set, and I think Laurie's got a potential that Wendell Carter Jr. doesn't have. And last thing I'll say about Laurie is, to me, the player comp I love for Laurie is a poor man's KP. KP being Kristaps Porzingis. The same skill set, obviously a little bit worse, but he can do everything that Kristaps Porzingis can do. So if Lauri Markkanen can turn into that, we're fantastic, obviously minus the injury issues. So just want to point that out there. But yes, Laurie over Wendell Carter Jr. Great question. How many years do you see until the Bulls get back to playoffs and become contenders? 3 years. I'll explain that in the video that I post next week. Fantasy football for PPR. Leonard Fournette, Darius Slate, Singletary with Mossop. Pick one. That one's easy. Devin Singletary. He's going to not destroy. He's going to be very good with Zach Mossop. Let's see here. Honestly, I feel like it's going to be Miami versus LA. For the finals, I feel like Miami Heat should win because they have some very good players. No matter who comes out from the East, folks, I'm sorry, Christian, who asked this question. If it's the Heat or Celtics, they're not beating the Lakers. They're just not. Lakers are winning the title. Let's see here. If you had to choose, are you a Cubs fan or Sox fan? Again, I love both teams, so I'm not huge on picking, but I'll probably pick the Cubs. Would you trade A-Rob for a second-round pick? No, I'm not trading Allen Robinson. I don't want to hear it. I'm not trading him. Let's see here. How much of a field day do you think Trubisky will have against the Falcons defense? Do you think they will be high or low-scoring game? High-scoring game. And I might just be tripping here, but I think Mitch Trubisky has a chance to have his best game since his Tampa game when he threw 6 touchdowns, I think, in 2018. I think Mitch Trubisky, if the Bears let him air it out, can put up 300-plus yards and easily 3-plus touchdowns, maybe 4. So it's just how bad Atlanta is. Do you think we have a chance to sign a big-name free agent since we have Billy Donovan? Absolutely. That's what Billy Donovan does. Billy Donovan is an excellent recruiter. That's what he did at Florida for 19 years. He's going to be able to recruit guys. Let's see here. I'm 0-2. My RB room is depleted. Should I trade CMC and Keenan for Jonathan Taylor, Deontay Johnson? I wouldn't trade CMC. You still got – well, CMC's out, 3 weeks? Well, if your RB room is depleted, you're trading for a wide receiver then? That's weird. So as far as this trade, CMC and Keenan for Jonathan Taylor, Deontay Johnson, I would actually consider that, honestly. Consider it, but honestly, if you can hold out, I would. Yeah, that one's tough. I'd probably keep CMC and Keenan. Let's see here. Wendell switched to power forward in the offseason. Let's see. Let's see. Yo, Faiz, big fan here. Here we go. What's going on? Faiz, you're one of my favorite YouTubers. Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much for the love, man. Listen, guys. Bears game tomorrow. You know I'll be there to give you guys a post-game recap. I can't wait. It's going to be fun. I will go ahead and follow me on Twitter, guys, by the way, because if you have more start and sit questions, I'm seeing a lot of those. Hit me up on Twitter. I'll answer every start and sit question I can, or Instagram too. But hit me up on there. And I'll try to answer as many questions in the morning. So in the mornings, I usually try to do the fantasy football start sit questions. But yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be fun, and I'm excited. What's up, 5-star Waller and Flex Hurst week 3? Good idea. I wouldn't mind that. I think Hayden Hurst has a good matchup against the Bears because tight ends we don't defend as well. Start Darren Waller. Yeah, he's been a beast. I know the Patriots are a little bit tough as a defense, but he's been a beast. Will you make a video with Tom Grassi? I'd love to. I mean, if he wants to, I'd love to. If the opportunity arises, I'm totally cool with it. All right, guys. I don't see any more super chats, so I'm going to call it a day. But thank you guys so much for checking in, and I will talk to you guys soon. Go Bears.